I call Mac Ducey.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to rise in support of the Wildlife Powers Amendment Bill. Can I just start by acknowledging what great vision I think this bill provides, Mr Speaker. Great vision around the environment and conservation. When you look at the range of bills that we've introduced during this term, Mr Speaker, the Environmental Reporting Standards Act, of course, recently with the Kermit and now around this Wildlife Amendment Bill, Mr Speaker, it very much shows the vision this government has around the blue-green agenda. Just to acknowledge the very hard-working Honourable Maggie Barry for all the work she does as Minister. And I suppose when I reflect and think about the success of this government, Mr Speaker, what comes through time and time again and what underpins the bills we bring to the House is that we're listening. We're listening to the people and we care about people. So what we've done is we've listened to DOC staff who have identified gaps in the previous wildlife bill of 1953, a bill of 63 years of age, and it now has some gaps in the modern age. So what we've done is we've listened because we care. Not only do we care about the people of New Zealand, Mr Speaker, but we care about its wildlife. And we had Clayton Mitchell talk about a range of birds he was interested in, but it always surprises me, no one ever mentions the kea. I love the kea, the curious kea. No one ever talks about that. But when I look back at this bill, Mr Speaker, I suppose in a modern age with modern technology, things have changed. And we now know with smuggling to order through using the internet, the smuggler can be connected with the purchaser a lot quicker. We need to ensure that this legislation is up with the modern times, Mr Speaker. And we also know that with accessible international air travel, smugglers can come into this country quite quickly. And it's no surprise if we have such unique wildlife that you only get in New Zealand, then it's no surprise that some people will want to come into this country. We know New Zealand First would just like to stop anyone coming into the country, but over here, we just probably want to stop the smugglers, Mr Speaker. And so through this legislation, we can get on top of this issue a lot better. And what they've identified is it's pretty much a very persistent problem over the years, Mr Speaker. When we look at 19 prosecutions made for illegal hunting and killing of endangered protected wildlife between 2004 and 2011, and 7 foreign nationals been convicted of attempted smuggling since 2010. We see very much a persistent problem that we need to address, Mr Speaker. So I look forward to this bill going through to the Select Committee, a very hard-working Select Committee with Scott Simpson as chair. I'm sure it will get a range of submissions from people in New Zealand, especially in my area of Waimakariri, and I commend this bill to the House. Thank you very much, Mr Speaker.
Members, this debate is concluded. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Wildlife Powers Amendment Bill, first reading.
The question is that the Wildlife Powers Amendment Bill be considered by the Local Government and Environment Committee. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Call on Government Order